If you're a man over 60 and someone told you it's normal to wake up 3 or 4 times a night just to pee, I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's not normal. It's not harmless. And the real reason it's happening may surprise you. There's a simple daily habit, something you do without even noticing, that's quietly irritating your prostate, messing with your sleep, and slowly lowering your quality of life. Yet no one's warning you, not your friends, not your family, and sadly not even your doctor. I'm Dr. Laura, a physician and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping men with prostate issues, low testosterone, erectile problems, and everything tied to men's vitality. I've guided thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s to regain strength, confidence, and independence. And now, I want to help you understand the truth. Many men believe their prostate only gets bigger because they're aging. That's not the full story. What if I told you age isn't the real problem? That one small habit you've overlooked is fueling silent inflammation, causing urgency, dribbling, and those annoying late-night bathroom trips. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal what that habit is, why it's so harmful, and how to stop it naturally. No pills, no surgery. I'll even share a simple 15-second bedtime routine my patients use to finally sleep through the night and feel like themselves again. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss another prostate health tip made for men over 60. And if this message connects with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, so I know how to better help you. Let's start with the first hidden habit, a habit many men think helps their prostate, but in reality, it makes things worse. If you've ever cut back on water at night to avoid waking up, you need to know the truth behind this dangerous myth. Habit #10, cutting back on water to avoid nighttime urination. I can't count the number of times men in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s have proudly told me they drink less water at night to avoid bathroom trips. And every time, I gently shake my head and say, I know you mean well, but that habit is actually making things worse. It sounds logical, right? Less water means less urine and fewer trips. But here's what no one tells you. Cutting back on water too much, especially at night, makes your urine concentrated. It becomes darker, more acidic, and irritating to your bladder. That irritation builds pressure. That pressure pushes on your sensitive prostate, and instead of fewer trips, you often feel the urge to go even more. When your bladder is constantly exposed to concentrated urine, it becomes irritated and overactive. It sends signals to empty, even when it's not full. That's why so many men wake up at 1 a.m., then 3 a.m., then 5 a.m., so rushing to the bathroom, only to pass a tiny trickle. It's frustrating, exhausting, and it chips away at your confidence and quality of life. I've had patients nearly in tears, begging for one full night of sleep. I get it, I truly do. But the answer isn't less water. In fact, dehydration is one of the most overlooked causes of prostate inflammation. Without enough water, your body can't flush out toxins, tissues swell, and healing slows. So, what's the fix? It's simple. Drink water consistently throughout the day. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst means you're already behind. Sip small amounts regularly from morning until early evening. Aim for clear, light-colored urine. That's your body saying, we're balanced. If you're worried about drinking too close to bedtime, just taper water about 90 minutes before sleep. But don't stop completely. Water isn't the enemy, it's your ally. It's the simplest, most natural tool to calm your bladder, ease prostate pressure, and help you finally sleep peacefully. Now, if cutting back on water makes things worse, what about sitting for long hours? Could your quiet afternoons in the recliner be adding to your prostate problems too? Let's take a look. Habit #9, sitting for long periods without movement. One of my patients, Frank, a retired school principal, told me he spent most of his day sitting, watching TV, reading the newspaper, and doing puzzles at his kitchen table. "Doc," he said with a laugh, "I earned this rest." And he had. But what Frank didn't realize, and what most men don't, is that too much sitting, especially as we age, quietly harms prostate health. Here's what happens when you sit for long stretches without moving. You place steady pressure on your pelvic region. That pressure slows blood flow to your prostate. When blood flow slows, inflammation builds, nutrients can't get in easily, waste can't get out. The tissues around your prostate swell, and soon you notice more urgency, a weaker stream, or discomfort when sitting. It creeps in over time, which makes it dangerous. It starts with a few extra bathroom trips, a restless night, or a nagging sense something's off. I've seen it countless times, men stuck in their chairs, then stuck in a cycle of worsening symptoms. The truth is, our bodies are built to move. Movement isn't just about fitness, it's about circulation, energy, and keeping organs healthy. The good news, you don't need a gym or a strict workout plan. One simple rule works wonders. Stand up every 30 minutes. That's it. Stretch, walk a few steps, glance out the window, set a reminder if needed. These tiny movements release pressure, bring back blood flow, and remind your body it's still active and alive. Frank took my advice. He set a timer, moved every half hour, and within 2 weeks, he was sleeping better. After a month, he felt lighter, more energized, and more in control. If you spend hours sitting, whether watching sports, reading, or just relaxing, remember, a still body invites silent problems. A moving body invites healing. Speaking of hidden irritants, there's another one sneaking into your mornings, your coffee. Could that warm, innocent cup be irritating your prostate more than you realize? Let's dig in. Habit #8. Overconsumption of caffeine. I'll be honest, this one hits close to home. I love the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. That first sip feels like a small gift. For many men, especially those retired and enjoying slow mornings, coffee becomes a daily ritual. But after decades of treating prostate problems, I've learned that too much caffeine, even from something as comforting as coffee or tea, can quietly irritate your bladder and prostate. Caffeine is a stimulant. It doesn't just wake your brain, it wakes your whole urinary system. It makes you produce more urine and triggers bladder muscles, causing frequent urges. For a young man, this might not matter much, but for men over 60, with an already enlarged prostate, that extra stimulation can tip things over the edge. You might find yourself rushing to the bathroom more often, or feeling like you never fully empty your bladder. That constant pressure, urgency, and occasional dribble could be tied to caffeine. One of my patients, Gary, drank coffee in the morning, iced tea in the afternoon, and soda at night. He never thought twice about it. When I suggested switching to herbal or decaf options after his morning coffee, he hesitated. "Doc, I've been drinking this for years," he said. I smiled and replied, "That's exactly why it's time to change." Within 10 days, Gary noticed fewer nighttime trips, a stronger stream, and a boost in confidence. To his surprise, he didn't miss caffeine nearly as much as he thought he would. Now, I'm not saying you have to quit it completely. I'd never ask you to, but balance is key. That single morning cup, enjoy it. But consider stopping there. Your prostate and your sleep might thank you. And while we're talking about what we put into our bodies, there's another group of foods, even more harmful to your hormones and prostate than caffeine. And chances are, you're eating them more often than you realize. Let's dive in. I had a patient named Bill, a 68-year-old man, who came in feeling frustrated. He told me, "Doc, I've cut back on soda. I'm trying to walk more, but I'm still waking up at night to pee, and it's driving me crazy." I asked him to tell me about his daily meals. He paused, then chuckled. "Well, breakfast is usually bacon and eggs. Lunch might be a sandwich with deli meat, and I can't give up my spicy chili for dinner. That's when the real conversation started. What many men don't realize is that food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite sends a message to your body, and highly processed foods like bacon, sausages, frozen dinners, and packaged snacks send the wrong message to your prostate. These meals are full of chemicals, bad fats, and artificial preservatives that spark inflammation all over your body. When your prostate is already sensitive, those signals make it worse. And it's not only processed food. Spicy dishes, especially hot peppers, chili powder, and fiery sauces, can irritate your bladder and pelvic nerves. When those nerves are overstimulated, it can feel like your bladder's full, even when it's not. You might find yourself running to the bathroom more often, with less control and more discomfort. The bigger problem is what these foods do to your hormones. Many processed meals contain trans fats and added sugars that raise estrogen and lower testosterone, which is a known cause of prostate growth. So even if the connection isn't obvious, your plate might be making your symptoms worse every single day. When Bill switched his meals to more natural foods, grilled chicken, leafy greens, avocado, berries, and a handful of walnuts, he didn't just feel better physically. He told me, "I feel like myself again, clearer, stronger, more in control." That's the power of eating to heal, rather than out of habit. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to pay attention. Start with one change, cook more at home, or add one anti-inflammatory food a day. Over time, your body will thank you, your prostate will settle, and your sleep will improve. But even with a great diet, there's one daily habit men ignore all the time, something they think is harmless, but it's like slow motion damage to your prostate. Let's talk about that next. It always surprises me how many men shrug off the habit of holding in their urine. "I was stuck in traffic," they say, or "the game was on. I didn't want to miss the second half." Or maybe, "I figured I'd wait until the next rest stop." I get it. Life is busy. But as a doctor with over 30 years of experience helping men with prostate problems, I can tell you that holding your urine is one of the most underestimated causes of trouble I see. Here's what's really going on. Every time you resist the urge to go, your bladder stretches more than it should. It's like blowing up a balloon, just a bit too much, over and over again. That constant stretching creates pressure on your prostate. And after 60, your prostate isn't designed to handle that stress repeatedly. Over time, that pressure irritates delicate tissue, causes swelling, and can even damage the tiny nerves and muscles that help you urinate properly. That's why men who make a habit of holding it often end up with a weak stream, that not fully empty feeling, or frequent urges later on. It's your body's way of warning you, there's more. Holding it too often means your bladder doesn't fully empty, leaving behind small amounts of urine. That leftover urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria, which can lead to infections and even more irritation of the prostate. I once treated Tom, a retired firefighter, who proudly told me he had trained himself to ignore the urge to go during long emergency shifts. It was a sign of discipline, but now, at 67, he was waking up 5 times a night, tired and uncomfortable. When I explained the connection, he looked down and said, "I wish someone had told me this sooner." So here's what I tell every man. When your body says go, go. Don't wait. Don't hold it. Your bladder and prostate are a team. When one suffers, the other does too. Listening to your body isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And while we're on daily habits that do damage, there's one even worse than holding your urine. It harms your lungs, blood and prostate at the same time. And even if you don't smoke yourself, just being near it can put your health in danger. Let's explore that next. I'll never forget a man named Walter who came to my office a few years back. He was 72, proud, strong-willed, and had spent his life working in construction. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "Doc, I quit smoking 10 years ago, but my prostate is still giving me trouble. When I asked if he was around other smokers, he paused and nodded. Every Friday night poker game, my buddies light up like it's 1975. What Walter didn't realize is that the prostate is extremely sensitive to toxins in the environment, and cigarette smoke, whether you inhale it yourself or breathe it in second hand, is one of the most damaging exposures you can face. Each cigarette releases thousands of chemicals, many of which limit blood flow, lower oxygen levels, and cause ongoing inflammation throughout your body, including your prostate. Over time, these chemicals block your prostate's ability to heal and repair itself. The blood vessels feeding the gland start to narrow, tissues stiffen, immune cells rush in, not to help, but to contain the constant damage, keeping your body stuck in a state of low-level inflammation. And if you're over 60, your body's natural ability to flush out these toxins has already slowed. That means even occasional exposure to cigarette smoke can seriously harm your prostate health. What's even more concerning is that long-term exposure to smoke doesn't just make prostate enlargement worse. It can raise your risk of more serious conditions, including prostate cancer. This isn't meant to scare you, but to wake you up. It's never too late to make a change. If you smoke, hear this with compassion. Quitting is hard, but it's the single greatest gift you can give your prostate, your heart, and your future. There's plenty of support. Medications, counseling, and support groups can help you stop for good. And if you've already quit, that's something to celebrate, but stay cautious. Avoid second-hand smoke whenever possible. Your health is worth protecting. Walter took this to heart. He stopped going to in-person poker nights and hosted the games at his house instead, smoke-free. Within weeks, his sleep improved, his bathroom trips at night slowed down, and his energy came back. He told me it felt like someone had finally turned down the volume on his discomfort. But one of the most harmful habits of all isn't about what you breathe in, it's about what you ignore. Too many men treat their bodies worse than they treat their cars, and that's where we're heading next. Beyond that, eating red and processed meats often has been shown in many studies to raise the risk of more serious prostate problems, even cancer. I'm not saying this to scare you, but to help you see that it's something you can prevent. The food you choose every day is one of the strongest tools you have. It can either calm inflammation or make it worse. When I asked Joe to limit red meat to once or twice a week and try lean proteins like chicken, fish, beans and lentils, he wasn't happy about it at first. But after a few weeks, he returned with a new attitude. He said, "I didn't realize how heavy I'd been feeling until I stopped. My stomach feels calmer, I'm sleeping better, and I don't miss meat as much as I thought." You don't have to give it up entirely, just add balance to your plate. Focus on whole, natural foods that come from the earth, not a factory. Your prostate will feel the benefits much faster than you expect. And while food plays a huge role in prostate health, there's another issue that has nothing to do with your kitchen. It's right below your belt, and it might be causing more harm than you know. Let's dive in. Habit number 2. Belly fat and obesity. I once had a patient named Leonard. He was 64, gentle, and always tried to keep a good sense of humor, even when his symptoms were tough. He sat down in my office and said, "Doc, I know I've gained weight around my stomach, but how bad can a belly really be?" I looked at him and gently said, "More than you think, Leonard, especially for your prostate. Extra belly fat isn't just weight. It's active tissue that sends out strong hormonal and inflammatory signals through your body. Fat around your waist isn't just sitting there, it's working against you. It turns valuable testosterone into estrogen, which encourages prostate tissue to grow. And as estrogen rises, while testosterone drops, the prostate swells, causing frequent urination, weak flow, and constant pressure. But it doesn't end there. Belly fat also makes chemicals that raise inflammation, stress your heart, and make it harder for your body to manage blood sugar and blood flow, both vital for energy and sexual health. So even if it looks like just a cosmetic issue, that growing waistline shows something deeper is off inside. The good news is, you don't need to lose 30 or 40 pounds to see changes. Studies prove that even losing just 5% of your body weight can noticeably help prostate symptoms, and it doesn't need to feel overwhelming. For Leonard, it began with simple steps: a short morning walk, swapping sugary drinks for water, and adding one more serving of vegetables to dinner. In weeks he noticed he wasn't waking up as much at night and had more energy during the day. He said, "It's not just my prostate. I feel like I'm getting myself back." Your waistline tells a story, and when you take action, you're restoring balance in a way that matters. But there's one more habit we need to discuss. It's not about what you eat, drink, or do. It's about what you live with. For many men, it's the hidden force behind everything else, the silent enemy of your health. Let's talk about it now. Habit number 1: chronic, uncontrolled stress. Of all the habits we've covered, your food, your routines, your daily choices, this is the one most men ignore. Yet it may be the most powerful factor for your prostate health. I've seen men sit across from me, looking calm, polite, well put together on the outside, but inside carrying decades of heavy stress. One man, Richard, told me, "Doc, I'm not the type to talk about stress. I just keep moving." And I nodded, because I hear this often. Men over 60, especially, were raised to hold it together, be strong, and push through. But what we know now, both medically and emotionally, is that chronic stress doesn't just stay in your mind. It shows up in your body, and yes, in your prostate. It feels every bit of it. When you live under constant stress, your body releases high levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol increases inflammation, tightens pelvic floor muscles, disrupts hormones, and harms sleep. Over time, it lowers testosterone and makes you more sensitive to pressure and pain in your pelvis, creating the perfect storm for prostate issues to grow. You may notice you clench your stomach without realizing it, or toss and turn at night. Your patience might shrink, your energy drops, your motivation fades. All signs stress is silently draining you. Richard finally opened up about worrying over his family, finances, and purpose after retiring. That's when we started rebuilding, not with medication, but with small, intentional actions. 10 minutes of deep breathing each day, a sunrise walk, weekly journaling, connecting with friends, and most importantly, giving himself permission to rest, without guilt. In weeks his symptoms improved, he slept better, felt less urgency, and said, "I didn't realize how much I was holding until I let it go." Managing stress isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's taking control of your health, and it might be the foundation that makes every other habit easier to change. Now we've uncovered all 10 habits, some obvious, some hidden, that quietly lead to prostate swelling and discomfort. But don't feel overwhelmed, because before we wrap up, I want to share something simple that ties it all together. A nightly ritual that takes only 15 seconds but has changed everything for many of my patients. Over the years, I, Dr. Laura, have spoken with hundreds of men just like you, frustrated, tired, and silently worried about their health. Some feel embarrassed, others angry, most feel alone. And here's what I can tell you for sure: you're not broken or weak, you've just been missing the full picture. And now that you see it, everything can shift. We've gone over the 10 everyday habits that inflame your prostate: cutting back on water, sitting too long, drinking too much caffeine, eating processed food, ignoring bathroom urges, exposure to smoke, skipping checkups, too much red meat, extra belly fat, and constant stress. Each one may seem small, but together, over time, they create the perfect storm for your prostate to swell, your sleep to decline, and your sense of control to fade. Here's the key: you can turn it around. And it doesn't require huge changes, just awareness, small steps done consistently, listening to your body, and giving yourself the care you'd offer someone you love. Most men wait until things get really bad, when they're waking up 5 times a night, when intimacy suffers, and when the medications pile up. But what if you didn't wait? What if tonight, you gave your body what it's been asking for? One of the best tools I've given my patients is a simple 15-second bedtime ritual. It's safe, effective, and built on everything we've talked about: reducing pressure, calming your nervous system, and supporting your prostate while you sleep. Men who do this report fewer night wakings, deeper rest, and finally feeling in control again. The best part, you can start tonight. So here's my advice: go back through these habits, choose one that feels doable, and begin there. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. You're not too old, and it's not too late. Your prostate is paying attention, and now you have the knowledge to take care of it. The fact you've read this far shows me you're ready. Let's move forward together. If this helped you even a little, give it a like, share it with a friend, or leave a comment telling me which habit stood out to you. Your voice matters. And if you'd like to support this channel and help us share life-changing advice with more men over 60, consider making a small donation. Every bit helps us create more helpful content for you. Thank you for being here.